I'm not certain who he is. Yeah. All I know is that it was brought to my attention and that he's a gentleman that supposedly knew Damian and is fighting also in Syria and stood up for Damian, what he was doing and the cause he was there for. Basically, from what I could gather, he was trying to convert me to Islam, particularly his cause or their cause in Syria invited me to come as a sister at 8th and 8th Musala to come learn more and come fight for the children and women of Syria. Islam's a great faith, but the extremism side that they've taken is completely different. And the Muslims that I know would never even follow that path themselves. So for them to even try to use that same methodology on me, I had to laugh at the same time as just I was insulted and everything else. Yeah. I went out to Berlin and I met some other mothers out there and I talked to people that work with Hayat Berlin, Germany, and they work with a de-radicalization program. So they have a methodology to work and counsel the families, stay close to them, and work with the children at risk and how to draw them back into the family and away from that sort of verbiage that they're using and to not create tensions and such. So I guess basically these guys that are trying to draw them in are also trying to create that tension within the family so that they can cause a disconnect. And Hayat goes against that and does exactly opposite to bring them back into the family. So you learn that it's the same old every time, and everything that they use is the same to pull them in. All the stories I heard from other mothers were exactly the same. Well, they basically said the same thing about their sons as I said about mine. He wouldn't hurt a fly, kind, compassionate, caring, and it was completely identical in the fact that they were so shocked that they would go to a war-torn country where there's fighting involved and killing, and they said, that's not my child. And the same verbiage again about saving women and children from torture and rape and all those atrocities that are going on in Syria. And that was basically the exact same things that their children said, we have to go, we have a purpose. It was a purpose-led life. This is what we're doing. And then once they got there, they became more distant and pulled away and colder from the family. They weren't the same until it became basically an empty soul that was just cold and disconnected. There's still so many questions, and I don't know if I'll ever answer those questions. There's something that's up in the open. But I think going through something like this, feeling so all alone and disconnected, I've got great friends, great family, probably better than most. And the support system that I have is above and beyond and phenomenal. But at the same token, that connection, you're feeling like you're alone in a bubble. And by being able to meet these other mothers and connect on that same level and realizing that our children are all the same, there was nothing wrong. It wasn't about our parenting. It wasn't about our children. It was about a system that's flawed and the vulnerabilities that were able to be taken advantage of. And each mother said the exact same thing about their children. And we had so many similar stories. And the same things that their children were saying to them, why they had to go, why they had to be there, was exactly what I heard from Damian. So to be able to get together and be able to feel that connection spiritually and just be in a room with somebody who really got the pain that I was feeling, it released a huge burden off my shoulders.